Hello everyone, welcome to Peculiar Grace Youth Empowerment, and this will be the first episode of the Experience Exchange. If you care to know about what the Experience Exchange is all about, this is a platform where you can learn what life is all about, most especially life after and before secondary school. So this program will be ongoing and we keep it moving on. We'll be inviting top people to share their experiences with us so that we can learn a whole lot from them. I would love you to subscribe to this channel and get engaged and get yourself ready to learn a lot from the Peculiar Grace Youth Empowerment Initiative, especially this program we tag the Experience Exchange. We'll be discussing about a particular topic, navigating career choices. So I want you to introduce yourself to us, sir.
I welcome everybody to this session. My name is Adewale Tolulope Irewale. I am your lead servant in Peculiar Grace Youth Empowerment Initiative, because the initiative is meant for service for the community and humanity in general, and that's the reason why I say I am your lead servant in Peculiar Grace Youth Empowerment Initiative. We will encourage you, like the anchorman said, we will encourage you to subscribe to this channel so that you can gain more insights and knowledge about useful topics that range from career choices to life and capacity development, and some other useful information that will benefit the entire youth population. Thank you.
All right, so talking about navigating career choices, can you share what inspired you to pursue your current career?
Yeah, so generally, I want to first talk about the word career. When you talk about career, some people look at it as if it's something like a death sentence or something that is cast on stone. But when you talk about career, it has to do with your whatever you are occupied with, whatever is something you are passionate about doing. And that is why we always say it most times, that it's better for you to find a career along the path of your passion. So in such a situation, you will not feel bored, you will not feel unnecessarily stressed up, because what you are doing is what you really enjoy. But coming back to your question about what inspired you? What inspired me to choose my current career path? Actually, in those days, we don't have so much information, unlike what we have today, where you can even go online, just search, Google will bring you a lot of information. Then there was no information, so it was just almost like maybe mostly you just do by trial by error, or maybe God just help you one way or the other. Maybe you have somebody who is more knowledgeable or who is more experienced that could be able to guide you. And unfortunately, even the guidance and counselors in most of our schools, they don't really do much in terms of guiding the students to to select the appropriate career choices. So when I was trying to choose a particular course of study in the university, I wasn't having any person to guide me. So I just chose it based on the fact that I was a science student, and I believe as a science student, you need to go into maybe something like medicine, pharmacy, or maybe engineering.
What most students
anything like that. And some of us also that are good in all the subjects, we have some problem. Because the fact that you are good in all the subjects, you are good in maths, physics, biology, chemistry, everything, then you put yourself in more problem. Because if you want to go to engineering, you are good enough. If you want to go for medicine, you are good enough. If you want to go for pharmacy, you are good enough. If it's somebody that is not good in biology now and is good in physics and maths, that person can quickly, go towards maybe engineering or some form of physical sciences. So, but as God will have it, I chose my course that I studied at my first degree, which is biochemistry, by chance. So that, like I said, it was by chance. But at the end of the day, I found out that I developed interest in that line, and at the end of the day, I am happy about what I did. So that was how I found myself there, and that's why we are trying to make sure that we use our past experiences. We don't want people to also struggle where we struggled, so we want to use our own experiences to guide the upcoming young people.
All right, so I would love to ask you, is there any uncertainty or doubt about your career choices when you're about to make the career choice? Is there any doubt? Is there any uncertainty?
Yes, there are so many doubts. In those days, people used to feel that, okay, once you are good in sciences, you should go for medicine or something like that, or maybe pharmacy, or some other courses like that. That was in our own days. Or maybe at times, if you are so good in maybe further maths, physics, then you might go for engineering. Yeah. So, and then when I chose biochemistry then, even my teachers, they were wondering, say, why? Tolu, why did you pick biochemistry? But actually, it's a long story, because I actually wanted to do medicine, but I said, okay, since that was my first JAMB, let me just pick biochemistry, I just wanted to have an idea of how JAMB, let me just feel it, how it is. So I was not actually intending to stay in that particular course. So my intention was just to try the JAMB for the first time. So that was why I chose that course then. But later, what now happened is, later on, I tried to now, go back to medicine, which has been my own, intention. I tried to go back, but I met some obstacles, which now forced me to actually now pray and then seek God's face and do some other things before I now have that, motivation, before I develop that motivation and that interest in the biochemistry. So I now felt, okay, I think this course too is okay. In fact, if I may say, right from when I was in the secondary school, what I really want to do is to be a teacher. When I say a teacher, I don't mean a secondary school or primary school teacher. What I mean is, my intention right from my secondary school days is that whatsoever course I study in the university, I'm going to teach that course. So even when I wanted to go for medicine, my intention is to work in the teaching hospital as a lecturer. So I already have it in mind that whatsoever course I read, even if it's Yoruba I read or geography, I'm going to teach that same course at the university level. So I had decided in my mind, even if I read law, I'm going to be a lecturer of law. So that was my passion. I have a passion for teaching, for lecturing, and for research work. So that has been, so irrespective of any course I did, I just knew that I am going to be somebody in the academia. So that is what was, so I was not so mindful. I know I can do well in any course I choose to do, whether it's medicine or pharmacy or biochemistry or chemistry or physics or engineering. So, but my end, that's why you have to start with the end in mind. So what exactly is what you want to do at the end of the day? So you meet a lot of challenges along the line that you feel, am I in the right way or something? But what really kept me going, one of the major things that kept me going is that after I prayed and, when I was like, okay, I could not go for medicine, which I was thinking I was going to do before. And there's a reason also why I was thinking of doing medicine, because my father was diabetic, before he died. So I thought in my mind that if I study medicine, I could be able to do research about diabetes and possibly find a cure or a way of, helping those people with diabetes. As at then in secondary school, I did not know that I don't have to do medicine before I could do such a research work. In fact, biochemistry even places me in a better position to carry out research into, the pathology or pathogenesis and some other things that relate to diabetes. So I don't actually have to be a medical doctor to do that. But because we don't have so much people to guide us and to ask us what we really want to do, so we were not properly guided. So those are some of the challenges that maybe students still face, similar challenges even today.
All right, so you said you faced a lot of challenges basically because you did not have a mentor that will guide you. Okay, this is how you can select or get to choose a course for yourself. Is there any time things didn't go as you planned it? I mean, choosing your career path. Is there any time like it comes like things didn't go as you planned it? So
to answer that question, even if you choose because I need to lay that emphasis. It doesn't mean that if I had studied medicine at the initial point, which was what I was thinking, it might not be the right thinking or the right choice then, but that was what I was thinking with my young mind, and without somebody ahead to give me some guidance and all that. So even if I'd done medicine, it doesn't mean that things will go smoothly. There is nothing you do in this world that you will not face challenges. Yeah. So it's not tied to, because I read biochemistry eventually and I faced some challenges, of course, which is normal, is not related to the fact that I read biochemistry. It's related to the fact that there is always challenge. But what we are just trying to say is that when you have chosen a course which you know that, okay, this is what I have a passion for, even when you face such challenges, you will have that confidence to navigate, through those challenges and to be able to, skate through at the end of the day and be successful. So I like to be factual and to say it the way it is. So whether you have chosen one career path or another career path, there are always challenges. That is a basic fact. So let's not think that, okay, I'm having challenges because I chose this career path A. If I had chosen career path B, I would not have had any challenges. No, it's not like that. Whichever one you have chosen, you will still face challenges, but the challenges may be peculiar. They will be peculiar, but you still have some challenges, of course. Even the best doctors or the best teacher or the best engineer that is doing well in his career has challenges. So it's not really just because of, but just what we are trying to bring out, the point we are trying to bring out is that it's easier for you when you are not like a square peg in a round hole. It's much more easier.
Can you just emphasize on what you mean by?
Yeah, because some of the, what I mean by that is some people who supposed to be, for example, somebody who's supposed to be a farmer, or let me say, for example, now who's supposed to be a farmer who is now a nurse. So the way the person will handle the nursing profession will not be as person who is cut out for that kind of job or profession, and that is what I mean by being, having a square peg in a round hole. You understand? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So looking at the time, those days when you said no mentor and choosing career path, there was no mentor. Do you think youth of nowadays are still facing that same challenges like it was like in the time past?
Yeah, they are facing it. In fact,
how can they succeed choosing the right career path?
Yes. Youths of nowadays are still facing the same thing, unfortunately so, because now we have abundance of information, and the problem we have now is not the problem of paucity of information, but the problem of how do you now get the right information from this, abundance of information that you have. Filtering out the right information is now the problem now, not the lack of information.
Sorry, sir. Before you move forward, I want you to specify. Is it that who should mentor you about your career choice? Is it the parent? Is it the teacher? Who should be the exact person to mentor a child to the right career path?
Good. That's a good question. The first person that should be your mentor is your parents. That is the primary mentor, because when immediately you were born, even before you started primary or secondary or something, you've been with your parents. They've been watching you right from where you were a toddler, till you grow into maybe a teenager, and adulthood and on like that. So they've been watching you all the while, and they are the primary caretaker, or let me say the people that are primarily responsible for trying to guide you into the right path. So how do they do that? All they need to do is to be able to look and assess the child very well and properly, and see, okay, from what I'm seeing, this child tends to be naturally gifted in this area. In those days, we will see parents that because the father is a medical doctor or is a lawyer or pharmacist, so he has a pharmaceutical, outlet. So he is thinking about, this is my pharmaceutical outlet. When I die or when I grow old,
my child
who is going to manage it for me? Yeah. So automatically, they will want to push their child to go into that direction. Even when the child maybe is endowed in music, or is endowed in sports, or is endowed in something different. A parent who is a lawyer or something will say, who is going to inherit my gown and the wig? So he wants that, kind of lineage to continue. So, and that's where some parents push their children to pick career choices that they are not really cut out for. And then such a child could now struggle in that kind of career path. So we have all those things. But from your question that who should be the primary mentor, so it's a shared responsibility. But I think more lies to the side of the parents, because the child spends more time with the parents at home. So after that, you have the teacher in the school. Then you have the community. Like what we are doing now, we are an NGO. And what we do, we try to go to secondary schools. We do some of these online podcasts and some other engagement like this to bring the information, the right information, to empower the young people by giving them the right kind of information that could help them to make the best decisions. So that is what we do. That's what we do most of the time. So
what about youth, or let me say children, that their parent fails to, direct them to the right? What do you think they can do at that moment? Because they might not probably know what next to do and who next to move on to. If I'm asking, if the parent fails,
if the parent fail their own duty by wrongly guiding the child maybe into the wrong path, and the child feels this is not what I'm supposed to do, but my parents are trying to force me to do this kind of maybe profession or this kind of career, to choose a career path that will suit the parent but may not suit the child. So what the child can do is, that is why we have organizations like ours. The child can try to reach out to like our own organization, and then we can find a way to talk to the parents and counsel the parents and help the child to say, hey, this child will be better. He will become a better person by going to area where he's naturally endowed. We can counsel, because some parents are also doing it out of ignorance. So when they have the necessary information and the necessary counseling, the counseling is not just for the student only. We can counsel parents as well. So they will now be able to know that, okay, let the child go and do what he really wants to do. So you don't have to fight your parents, of course. You don't have to disobey them. So you have to just be tactical about whatever you want to do.
So looking at what you said the other time, you said choosing the right. From what I hear you say, you said even if you choose the right or the wrong career path, you always face challenges.
Yeah.
All right. So you particularly in your career path, is there any challenges you faced, or any significant mistake or setback you faced, and what did you learn from it?
Yeah.
Is there any challenge?
There are always, like I said before, you also mentioned it. I said challenges are not particular, or maybe they are not peculiar to maybe because you chose career path A or B. In fact, the whole of life itself is filled with challenges, ups and downs. So you should have settled that first in your mind. There's nothing that is filled with bed of roses in this world. So, but at the same time, when you choose a particular career path, you could still have challenges there, because, for example, when I finished my youth service, like every average Nigerian, you start, like searching, trying to get employment and all that. So you will be looking for jobs. And I think, if I need to say this also, especially in the context of Nigeria, this is our local society now. People believe that if you study some certain courses, that you might stand a higher chance of securing a good job after your course of study. So while they think that if you study some certain kinds of courses, you might struggle to get a job. And also, people believe that if you say, okay, for example, I read biochemistry, so people will feel, okay, that means you are going to be teaching maybe biology or chemistry, because people don't really know what it means. Actually, I didn't know so much about the course also. It was when I got there that I started, getting more knowledge about what the course is all about. So I'm using my own specific example. it's not, it could be different thing to different people. So when I finished, I was trying to look for a job, and all that. So while I was searching for a job, I was like waiting for some time. People feel, okay, maybe if you had read a certain other course, maybe you could have done better in terms of the possibility of getting a job on time and all that. So, but then it's even people that read this same job that we are talking about, they still find it difficult to. In fact, even people that read medicine, some of them still work in private hospitals. Some kind of do some little jobs like that before maybe eventually they get maybe a better. And even the better job you are talking about, when you say a job is better, it's relative. It may be better than some other job. It doesn't mean it's better than maybe some other ones. They understand it's relative. So it depends on what you are comparing. So those challenges are there, like, okay, maybe to get a job. But I believe that if you have done a job that you are really, really suited for, or a course that you are really, really passionate about, even when there is no job, you will still be able to get yourself gainfully engaged. Okay. You understand? You will be able to get yourself gainfully engaged. Especially in this our dispensation now. So that is what I believe. So that's where we said, if you have studied a course, or you have chosen a career that is suited for you, you may not really even have need of sitting down saying you are idle seeking for a job. So it's maybe easier for you to face the challenges that will come your way. Like I said before, whether you choose career part A or B or C, and maybe the one you are passionate about is career part A. It doesn't mean if you now choose that career part A that you really want to study or to work on or something. So it will now be, everything will be bed of roses. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So growing up and while you are setting to choose your career path, is there any particular risk you've ever taken? I mean, growing up, is there any risk?
Yeah, generally, if you don't take risk, even life itself is a risk.
Yeah.
Life itself is a risk. So a lot of risk. There are a lot of risk that one has taken, even in the process of. I remember when my first job was at International Institute of Tropical Agriculture in Ibadan. That was where I worked first between 2001 and 2003. So even then, I started that job when I was already doing my master's degree at the University of Ibadan. So it was, let me say, a form of risk as well, because that job actually was meant to be for a full-time applicant, and fortunately enough, I was already almost rounding up my master's program, and also, as God will have it, ASU was on strike. So that one created an opportunity for me to be able to face my job, full time. So before ASU will call off their strike, like 5 months down the line, I've been able to, work for almost 5-6 months uninterruptedly. So when I told my supervisor, okay, I will need to take my annual leave so that I'll use that period to go and write my exams, because when ASU called off the strike, they now gave us few weeks to prepare that we are going to write our final exams. So, it was like that before I could be able to get like 2 or 3 weeks leave then that I applied for, that I should have worked for maybe 6 months. And then I think it was just about, I've worked for about 5 months or thereabout. So it remains, more or less like 1 month, let me say, for me to qualify to take the leave. So I had to. So what I'm saying is there are always risks here and there. So I had to find a way to, plea everything. And I said, well, and worst case scenario, if my plea and everything will not work, I will have to decide which one do I want. Do I want to forfeit the master's program that I've done everything? It just remains for me to write the final exam. Will I forfeit it just because of that and take only the job? Or do I want to leave the job and complete my master's program? So I have to choose. It's always a risk. So I have to decide that, well, if my application for leave will not be approved, I may just have to put in a resignation. But my supervisor then was very cooperative. We are still in communication up to today. So he looked at it and said, okay, no problem, since it's just like 2 weeks or something, that you will approve it so that I can go for the leave, so I can be able to write my final exams and then come back and continue my job. So there are always risks, there's the only person that doesn't take risk again is person that is dead. So that one is always there.
All right. So thank God for that.
Even let me tell you, this one we are talking about, that okay, this career, that career. What tells you we can use everything that we can see, that okay, because this guy is good in maths and is good in physics, so maybe we'll not cancel the guy that okay, go and do engineering. Even that choice is a risk, because who tells you that when you finish that engineering, you make a good living there? Or maybe somebody might even finish studying engineering. Haven't you seen many engineers that ended up in the bank? So it's always, at every point in time, every decision you take in life, there's always a level of risk attached to it. So that is not a new thing.
So how would you tell us how you balance your passion with the need for financial stability?
Yeah, so that is a good question, and that is one of the problems we have even nowadays. Because people it's just like putting the horse before the cat. Do you understand? Or putting the cat before the horse. Do you understand? Now, normally what should drive your passion, what should drive your decision, everything you do in life, is supposed to be service. You should be a service-driven person. That is how...
Service-minded.
Yes. So that all that you are passionate about is how can I help? How can I render a service? And that's why we have problem in this country, because people are not service-oriented. That's why you see leaders that are there, they are not service-motivated. All that motivates them is the money they want to make. So once that mindset or that mentality is there, you are heading for a failure, because money is not everything. So there will always be need. There will always be need. But what brings fulfillment, what brings joy, is the fact that you have been able to impact people's life. And that's why I tell people that whatsoever you do, let's even forget about career or no career, whatsoever thing you are doing, see it as a ministry. If I am a tailor, see that tailor as your own ministry. That is what you are using to reach out to the world. That, you understand what I'm saying? That is your own way of ministering to the world, is through, sewing clothes and all that. You see whatever you are doing as a form of service to humanity. That is when you can even find fulfillment. And you will see that the money or financial stability and everything It's just like, I will always go back to what the Holy Scripture says. He said, goodness and mercy shall follow us. So it doesn't say we should be pursuing them. They should follow us. So it means that if you are doing what you need to do, goodness, mercy, and some favor, everything they will be pursuing you. So it will not be the other way around. So that is what is it, and that is part of it. You will see that even this Peculiar Grace Youth Empowerment Initiative, you see that we do a lot of counseling, talking to young people, and all that. So it's still part of the passion for teaching, for impacting the lives of young people. So it doesn't mean that until I'm in the four walls of the university before I can, like in quote now, lecture young people. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So you just find a way to make what you are passionate about, to make it, to create a career out of it, And when you do that, you see that you will not struggle, because your gifts and your potential will make room for you.
Okay. So from what you said, looking into today's world, we can see that a lot of youths of nowadays are just money driven. Like their mentality is about making money, and most of them even enters into fraudulent activities because of, okay, there's no money in Nigeria, there's no job, there's no this, there's no that, and they say, okay, my mom, we need to eat, I need to fend for my family, and all those excuses. What do you have to say? I mean, do you actually face challenges while growing up too, that you can tell the youth, that can inspire them to know that going into fraudulent acts to make money and to get a living is not the right thing?
Okay. See, I'll go back to what I said before. There is nobody in this world that has the monopoly of life challenges. What I mean is, you can't say, like if I want to use my dialect now, the Melo Buruju, like my own is the worst, as if the whole problem of this world is on you alone. So everybody is facing challenges. Like the question you ask, why growing up, we lost our father at early age. I was in SS2 when my father died. So it was a lot of challenge, and my mom then was teaching the primary school. Then primary school teachers were, under local government, and they used to owe them at times 8 months salary, 6 months salary, and so on. So most of the time, there will not be anything to eat in the house. In fact, many days we'll go to church, we'll trek to the church without eating, and even when coming back to the house, there's nothing in the house, and we won't tell anybody. We'll just go, But then
the youth of nowadays now, their issue is still the same thing that you said. Because I need you to.
So where I'm going now, is that, but the way then we were brought up is we have to work with our hands. So in those days, even as an undergraduate student, I was hawking on the street. I was selling all sorts of things like boiled egg, pure water, all those kind of things on the streets, in traffic and everything. So we were taught, we were brought up in a way that we know that there is dignity in hard work. And those are the things that toughen some of us, so that We can survive in any environment. And let me add this, that money is not everything. So even if you think, okay, I just have to make this money anyhow, I just have to, whether through Yahoo, whether through 419, whatever. But you will see that at the end of the day, when you get that money, money does not satisfy. Because at the end of the day, don't you see rich people that are dying of? Have you not seen a rich person that committed suicide? Is it because he doesn't have money? So if you don't pass through, it's a process. All these things are what make a man. You know, when you have passed through some life challenges and you come out, every time you face a trial or a challenge, you come out a stronger person. You know, because it's just like when you go to school. If you don't write exam, you cannot go to the next level. So those challenges are like exams. They are like life exams. Yes, which will help you to go to the next level. So, but if you now say you don't want to have challenge, you just want a shortcut and all that, you might get to your destination, but because you didn't pass through those processes, when you get to that final point, you will not be able to sustain that success. So, and that's why people have issues today. You see people having depression, because they've never faced any particular challenge in life. So they just came into limelight. They now felt everything is just bed of roses. So when they now face any small challenge, they easily give up. You know, so that is why youths of nowadays need to learn. You know, we have so many poetry stuff that we used to recite in those days. So, you know, especially if you read all this Alawiye and all those things. Say, kata abajiya fún, ìtọ́jọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹni, apalara, ìgúnpá nìyẹn kan.
Maybe you can tell people that does not understand you.
So for those people that does not understand, what it means is whatever you did not labor for doesn't last. Whatever you did not labor for doesn't last. So you have to know that there is dignity in hard work, and that is just what youths of these days need to be aware of. Yeah, so the advice I will give is that, let me tell you one thing, that, like I said, if you think about yourself, you discover yourself. Because before excuse me, before you can say, okay, this is the career path I want to choose and everything, you must have discovered yourself. What are you very good at? What do you really love to do? That is one side. The other side, you will now think, what is lacking in my community? What does the society need? That is on the second part now. Then the third one is now, you now look for, how do I combine what I'm passionate about plus what the world needs? How do I marry the two to put them together to make one? Okay, for example, now I love teaching, I love, talking to young people. Okay, and then now I can then say, okay, that is what I love personally. So at the end of the day, even if I had gone to study Yoruba, I can then try to say, okay, these days parents don't even have time to train their children, to teach them. You see, all the children now, they will be speaking English. They don't know Yoruba. But me now, I study Yoruba in school, and I love teaching and everything. And I can see a gap in the society that people are beginning to lose that part of understanding their local dialects. Then I can now create something that will use my training as a Yoruba graduate now, together with what the world needs, which is the world need people that could teach them this culture, tradition, and the language. Because when you talk of culture and tradition, the vehicle for all this is the language, communication. So you can now do, even if you need to do podcast, or you need to have a kind of special school or whatever, you think about it, and then you now put the two together to form one particular enterprise. So by so doing, you will see that even though the person study Yoruba, is enjoying that career path. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to bring out from there is that there is no bad career or good career. So we need to make that to be clear. So it doesn't mean that because I didn't study medicine, I study integrated science, or I study this or that, so that means I'm in a bad career. The person that studied medicine is the one that is in a good. No, there is no career in itself that is good or the one that is bad. So it depends on you to look at, okay, what can I do? What am I passionate about? What am I gifted at? You understand? What is my own endowment? Then bring it together with whatever you have been trained with, regarding any kind of thing. We have good mechanics, because when you are talking about career doesn't mean that only people that go to university have career. Are we saying that the person who is iron bender, he has no career because he didn't go to school? No. So we have to really understand what we are talking about when you say career. Career is just talking about your line of occupation and what you have decided to do, to put your passion and your energy. That is the area you have decided to put. I can decide to put my energy and everything into research. That is my area of somebody can say, okay, I am an auto mechanic, because at the end of the day, remember that we need everybody. We in the society, we need the auto mechanic, you need the plumber, you need the carpenter, you need lecturer also in the university, in each department. You need teacher in the secondary school, you need those in the primary school. Or if all of us are all lecturers, just assume all of us are all lecturers, who will do the other ones? If all of us are all medical doctors, say, okay, because medicine is a very good career path, so all of us now cuckoo choose medicine. Will the world be balanced? So that is it. So we have to know that when you talk of career path, it's just talking about what you have chosen as your own line of, that's why I said it before, so that whatever you are doing, you can create a career out of it. So career is not a death sentence that, okay, if I choose this particular line now, so it's like a death sentence. I have to just, whether it's good or bad, you just know. We have seen people that went to school to study vet medicine that ended up to be a musician. What's his name? This man that is singing Jangbala Jubu, Bangbado Igbeo, Jangbala Jubu, Jangbala. Beautiful Nobia. He was a vet doctor. But he found his career in music. So there's no issue. You can always navigate towards your area of competence, and so that is it.
So I'm also going to ask, how important is it to explore different fields or trying out various jobs before committing to one?
Yeah.
Is it very important?
Yeah, it's very, very important. That's what they call, in career counseling, we call that job shadowing. Job shadowing. You can do what they call job shadowing. So you can, even before you go into a particular career, maybe while you are still thinking about it, that I would like to be a nurse, or I would like to be a medical doctor, or even I would like to be a lawyer or something. You can go and meet a lawyer. Let's say if you know somebody who is a lawyer, who is, close, maybe in your community or in your estate or wherever. Say, I like to be like you. I like to go into this your profession. Can you tell me more about it? So the person can tell you. Then you can say, okay, maybe during our holiday, I would like to come to your office and see how your daily routine looks like, and see how you normally carry out your day-to-day stuff. So that from all those ones, you will now learn more. Say, do I really want to do this? So this is how I will sit down from morning to evening talking to people about one case or the other one, or this or that. So you can now have a better view of that career path, the challenges and everything, because you engage the person, he will tell you. Then you can also go, for example, I want to be a nurse. So you will not just be seeing a nurse from afar. You can go with the nurse and see their daily routine, the challenges they face at work, and that is what you will face throughout your career years. So you can then make up your mind and say, will I be able to do this for the next? I have given an example sometimes when I was talking. There was a guy that, this man is even an American. He said he wanted to study medicine. So he told his uncle. The uncle now told him that, okay, before you go and become a medical doctor, go and think very well. So he now told him something. What the uncle told him, he said, can you work from morning till evening? You know, if you are a doctor, maybe at the point you are closing is when they bring another emergency case. Patient. And you still have to just, you cannot say they should leave the person to die, that I've closed. I close normally by 4. So it's already 4:30, I've closed. So if the man likes, let him die. Even some that are on call duty in the house, they will call them even in the midnight if you are on call duty, that because they can bring emergency at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. So you have to go and look at it and do a kind of job shadowing that we are talking about, and see, am I really cut out for this kind of thing? Can I really do? Because somebody might be looking at the juicy part of it, that prestige, that okay, they will be calling me doctor. He's not looking at the demand of the job. And you understand? So when you, so it's good if you have that opportunity. Even there's what they call a gap year. You know, only that because in Nigeria everybody is always in a hurry. There's what they call a gap year. What's a gap year? Like when you finish your secondary school, instead of, you know, rushing and entering the university immediately, you can give yourself 1 year gap. That 1 year gap, you use it to do some of these things. Job shadowing, or maybe you just intentionally, you might say, okay, let me go for A-levels. So while I'm doing A-levels, I will be able to make more research about the different kinds of profession that I'm thinking about going into before I will now enter university the following year. And then by then you have really made up your mind and you have chosen the one you really want to do. So these are many things that people can do. There's gap year, there's job shadowing and all that, so that before you now go into it, so that by the time you get into that career, you not get to the middle of it 10, 15, 20 years down the line, you now be feeling a kind of regret that I would have chosen this or that job, or I would have done this or that. So those are the things you can do.
What's something you wish you knew in the time past while choosing your career path that you wish you actually knew then?
Yeah, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things that I got to know later, that if I had known much earlier, would have been, my path would have been a different direction. I don't know, because I'm not God. I don't know how it could have panned out, but I know it would have taken a different route. Okay, let me give some examples. While I wrote my not first JAMB, because I only wrote JAMB once, so it's just the only JAMB I wrote anyway. So when I wrote that JAMB, the person who advised me then said, okay, because this is your first time of writing JAMB, you may not be able to score high mark. And then maybe, and he was using his own personal experience to advise me that in those days, they will say they want to do pharmacy, maybe this year, 3 marks will cut them off. So maybe cutoff for pharmacy is 280. They will get maybe 277. So just because of 3 marks, they will spend another 1 year at home because they just wanted to do that pharmacy by force. So, or maybe he wanted to do one engineering and maybe 3 marks or 4 marks or 5 marks or something like that. So he said, so what he will advise me is I should pick a course that is not very competitive like that, you know. So because I was telling him that, okay, it's medicine that was in my mind. So he told me like that I should pick another course that is within the same faculty, but not this, as highly competitive. Yeah. So I went and picked, so I now went to the JAMB bronchial and looked through the bronchial and look at it. Okay, which other course is there that I have to do physics, chemistry, biology, just like medicine? So I just saw biochemistry, you know, B is, you know, so immediately I saw biochemistry, I said, okay, this one will be fine. So I just picked it. I've never heard about it before. I didn't know even maybe people that have read the course before or something. I just picked it. So, but eventually when the result came out, what I scored in the JAMB was even enough to take me to medicine. I scored, my score in the JAMB was even higher than that of medicine. So that is one thing that I didn't know then, that if I had known, I would have done in a different way. I should have picked medicine. Even if I didn't enter that cutoff for medicine, they would have given me another course. But what this guy did not tell me then is that those times when maybe 3 marks, 4 marks were cutting them off, they offered them another course, which he did not want. And because of that, would say I would rather write another JAMB instead of going for BSc biology or BSc chemistry. I don't want BSc chemistry. I don't want. It's just that pharmacy or it's just that medicine I want. So is it that medicine or nothing? So he didn't tell me up to that. So if he had told me that, what I would have done is I'll pick medicine. So at least if my score did not enter medicine, they will give me maybe biochemistry or anatomy, physiology, or some other courses. So that is one of the things that I did not know then that I knew now. Then another thing that I did not know then that I know now is when I was in the university, in my mind, I knew that I wanted to go into lecturing, but I was very, very timid and shy. I never told any of my lecturers that I like to be a lecturer like you. If I had told them, they would have started to mentor me and, you know, guide you and all that. But because I was very shy, I was a very shy person, so I didn't tell any of them. But the day one of them saw me, after I started working at IITA, when he saw me, I was going to submit an application to FUTMINA. So I needed to take a reference letter. So I went to my former school to meet one of my lecturers. I said, are you interested in going to lecturing? I said, yeah. He said, because you're already working in IITA. So I thought that you are not interested in lecturing. I said, I'm interested in academics. So I never told him. So those are some of the things. So if you are interested in a particular career path, talk to people who are already there so that they can guide you, you know. So those are some of the things that if I had known then, by now I would have been in the academics, but I don't know. Where I am, I'm still happy.
Good. For a better plan.
Yes.
For everybody. All right. So how do you keep yourself motivated and continuously learning? How do you keep yourself motivated?
Yeah. So what I see, for example, now you see, when I observe something, because I love academic work, like research, you know, doing research work, writing academic papers, and all those things. I found out that when I'm doing it, I don't feel stressed up. I can sit down there till 4 a.m., 2 a.m.
Spend hours on it.
Even me, myself, I'll be having fear in myself that the way I'm stressing my body, am I not going to break down? But to my surprise, what I notice is when I'm doing that kind of work,
find joy.
I don't break down. That is what I see. When I even myself knew that I've overstressed my body, but I still see that I'm still having that energy to carry on. So that's why I know that when you are doing this, and it's not only me, the same thing, J.J. Okocha has said the same thing too, that one of the things that surprised him most in this world is that he found out that he was just having fun and they were paying him. They were paying him huge money for having fun. Because while he was playing football, he didn't see it as work. He saw football as having fun. And he was just having fun on the field, and they were paying him thousands of pounds. Yeah. Do you understand? So when you are doing something you are very, very passionate and is your area of,
specialization.
You won't feel stress and you make more impact in that area. So that is how the thing plays out.
All right. So I'll be asking you the final question, and that will be your final message for young people navigating their career choices. What final message do you have for the youth that are navigating their career choices?
Yeah, one of the things I would like to say to the young ones is that whatever thing you have decided to do not see it as or do not do it with regret. Because some people do things with regret that if I had done this, maybe if I've chosen civil engineering and not mechanical engineering, maybe I would have done better. Or in fact, I was telling people that because if I want to base it on the fact that chemistry was like, even though at the initial point I struggled so much in chemistry, but later it became like my best subject. That in my university days, my highest score, everything was in chemistry. Almost all my chemistry courses was always A. I had one in which for the whole of the university, I was the only one that had A in that course. And that course was a general course. That both people, I read biochemistry. Yeah. Both people that are doing BSc chemistry, industrial chemistry, chemistry education, everybody, the whole of Faculty of Sciences, it's a general chemistry course that everybody is a physical science. Chemistry 201, I think. It's 201, yeah. Physical chemistry. So there is only one A in that course. I'm the only one that had the A. So what I'm saying is, I was telling somebody sometimes that if I had known self, I could have even done BSc chemistry. So it doesn't matter. You understand? That, okay, whether this course or that course or this course. What matters is your passion, know your area of endowment, what you really want to do. Because at the end of the day, even now, the PhD program that is currently ongoing now, we have a PhD program that is currently going on at African Center of Excellence in Future Energy and Electrochemical Systems at Federal University of Technology, Owerri. I'm also one of the current students there. I'm doing a doctoral work at that center. So what do I want to bring about? Now, the center just added a course, a program to their curriculum now. They call it Management, Future Energy Management. That course now is a course that they intentionally crafted the course so that even people that are not from science background can be able to do it. It's a managerial course, but with a focus on future energy. We talk about green, sustainable energy, future energy, and all that because of the climate change and some other things. So everybody now, they are clamoring for a change from fossil fuel, so that we can reduce carbon emission, greenhouse gases and all that. So what am I trying to say? So it means that even somebody can be in chemistry or in science. At the end of the day, you see the person delving into social or management related course or something. And you can come from management related course and now still come towards sciences. Do you understand? So what I would just tell people generally is that have an open mind. Have an open mind.
Let your mind be open.
Yes. So don't feel bad that, oh, because I'm doing this particular course, that means I'm doomed, or that means there's no hope for me, or I can't really make it. No. So whatever it is that you are doing, you can always think and look for, your own niche, your own area within that career path. You can create a niche for yourself within that career space, and then you become a unique person there. So that is it. So even if it's you are a mechanic, you can always create a niche for yourself and become a special person that people would know. Even among all the mechanics, you stand out. So that is what we all need to focus on. How do I distinguish myself? How do I add extra to the ordinary that I'm doing? You are just an ordinary person, but you can add that extra so that it becomes extraordinary.
Yeah.
So that is, once you do that, you will be able to have a very good reward.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, and thank you for giving us more insight, especially the youth. And to be honest, the youth will be able to learn a whole lot from this. And can you just tell the youth outside there the programs Peculiar Graduate Department Initiative is having, presently, for them to get engaged to it, and maybe basically you can tell them some of the other things we do to help them to navigate their career path?
Yeah, so we have different kinds of programs at the Peculiar Grace Youth Empowerment Initiative. We have the skill enhancement and mentoring program, which we call a SETIP. That is skill enhancement training and internship program. So this program is specifically and specially designed to cater for the needs of young people, whether you are a student or you are not a student. And that's why you see that internship is there, training is there. So you might be a young person that needs to be gainfully employed. Maybe you want to learn about photography, about maybe computer skills. You want to learn about computer skills or programming. You want to learn about some other trade like carpentry, like cabinet making, like which other one again? Even attire making, or even fashion designing, and or hairdressing, catering, and some other kinds of skills like that. Even if you want to learn about plumbing or any other kind of craft. So the program is designed, and if you are a university student that maybe you are looking for a place to do your internship, your CWES and all that, you can reach out to us. We have organizations that we are affiliated, that are partners with us, so that we can link you up with them. Then you can do your internship with them. Or if you are a young person, maybe you just finish your NYSC, or you are even in the university and you feel okay, during your long vacation or something, you want to start learning a kind of trade or a kind of profession, so you can come in and join that, and then we'll create a kind of program for you. And what we also intend to do as from our own parties, will help you to learn about how to scale up such an enterprise. So we'll give you some soft skills that you will they will be helpful for you when you want to start up your enterprise or something. So that is on one hand. There's another one, which is the workshop that we normally have. That one we normally have that workshop where we invite young secondary school leavers. We give them orientation, we give them counseling, we give them all the necessary tools that they need to prepare them for the life after secondary school. And while they attend that workshop, they also have the opportunity to write a test for the scholarship. And when they write that test for the scholarship program, the scholarship covers their entire duration in the tertiary institution. You know, once you write the test and you pass and you are among the awardees for the scholarship program, you become one of our the scholarship winners. And then when you become one of our scholarship winners, you will stand the chance to have a sum of 150,000 naira per session as a scholarship award to support your university or your tertiary institution education. And you can also be eligible to collect that amount, and the money from time to time is being reviewed based on the economic reality. So it used to be 100,000, but as of now it's currently 150,000 naira per session. Per session. So, and it's renewable, so you enjoy it throughout the whole duration of your study in the tertiary institution. But there is a condition attached to that, because you have to maintain a certain minimum CGPA standard for you to keep on enjoying that. Because part of the reason for giving that scholarship is to also encourage, you know, the students to be their best. So that is another program that we normally have. So we have different programs like this. And also we used to go to the secondary school to organize free counseling, career workshops, and capacity building workshops in secondary schools and even university. So we've been to some certain universities, you know, in the time past. So I will use this opportunity also to call out on the university students. If you want to do your week, you know, in the university, we used to have maybe a biochemical week, or the Students Chemical Society week, or the Sociology Students week, or something like that. During your week, you can have a program where you invite us to come and give you some, you know, talk on career and future, or any other thing. We even have we do go to other organizations, like sometimes ago we were with the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, where we presented a talk or a speech on the 21st century education. What do we need to how do we need to go about this 21st century education? Because education has changed from what it used to be. So we normally have all these engagements with other organizations. We also receive an invitation even from the what do you call them? NSCDC. That's a Civil Defense Corps, Nigerian Civil Defense Corps. So for a partnership, you know, to have some kind of, and also we have an ongoing partnership with the National Youth Service Corps as well. So we have all these different activities and programs, so a lot of them. So we'll encourage you to reach out to us so that we can see area of mutual benefit where we can work together, you know.
Okay, so
and even to add to that, let me also add this. If you need counseling, even maybe you want to go and school outside of the country and you need some guidance or counseling, you can still reach out to us. So we still give counseling and all that. So we can link you up, because one of our major empowerment modus operandi is to get you the necessary information that you need. Information is power, and if you are not informed, you may be deformed. Thank you.
So how can they know more information about Peculiar Grace Youth Empowerment?
So that is very easy. We have our website, I think we have our website, www.peculiargraceyouth.com. So if you go to that website, you see a lot of information there.
So can they register for the scholarship and set it in the website?
Yeah, so they can register, they can go on that website. You have a place where you can make inquiry. You have a place where you can register for any of these programs, even online. And then we'll reach out to you, and then we'll pick it from there.
Okay,
so,
what about schools that probably wants to invite Peculiar Grace to their school?
Yeah, so like I said, if you go on our website, you will see, when you go to contact us, you will see our email, you will see our contact phone number, and then there is a form online too that you can fill, for inquiries or for requests or whatever. So all this you can do online, and you can also engage with us like our anchor man for this program was saying the other time, or maybe through Twitter or through Instagram or maybe through Facebook or any of these social media handle. You can reach out to us. So you have a lot of different means by which you can reach out to us.